All right, folks, we are back. Welcome on back to this Tuesday, June 10th. Great to have all of us back here inside our live trading room. So Roberto just before, Larry, Jeff, Kathleen, got Kerry with us here just joining us, Michael and Leda, Andrea, great to see him, and all of us just here again inside our live trading room, the trading floor. If you're back on social media though, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, the works, just popping up on the lower left right there at Cyber Trading U. I got to fix my light if I can fix it. I don't want to look too orange. There we go. A little sweaty, came from the gym. So I got my gym shirt. Shout out to this podcast I listened to. But at least for right now, the MRIN stock here just before was moving up pretty well just a moment ago up until here. I mean, it was looking good until it stopped looking good. So yeah, at least heading into the afternoon, we're not as keen to put a stock dropping as fast as this is on our watch list. What happened? Why did this just reverse right now? Why did this just crap the bed instantly here, right? I'm happy that we caught this now, better now than at least later on and after we put it on our list at this point. So why did this even just drop? Let's just take a look together and figure out. Well, I think that we already have part of the answer, not the complete answer here, but it looks like you had an iceberg showing up. I mean, it was there originally for about 50,000 shares at $1.80. And then just before it tried getting a little closer, it got a lot larger here suddenly. And it took what, maybe about 25, 30 seconds at most before it just collapsed. So it's unfortunate. The stock was pretty good just before here. It was kind of creeping on up heading into the afternoon. You get the pre-market data open as well. This was more of a pre-market pop and drop stock at first, so it took a while to get the gears to even get going on this trade here. Popped, I guess, here going into the late morning. I don't even recall us calling this out back then, but it's just more unfortunate now. For as much as it recovered, crawled back up here, it just made that big shake. So now it needs to prove itself to us here if this is going to try and be a steadier trend up heading into the close. What we'll do is just pretty much go from top to bottom in just a bit, folks. Good to see Clarence here and Albert and a lot of our, Debbie here. I see just joining us again. A lot of our trial members just testing our room out for this week. The NVTS, just to mention from this morning, this was the stock that was on my radar the most. Just it was trending up so well here. I know it was dumping off right before the opening bell hit. So that means it took a while for this to get the gears to go. But after consolidation, little test of the lows again here, it made a nice day trade bounce. Good for about $1, maybe a little less, even if you're able to capture it off the breakout of resistance. It's unfortunate it failed to hold that resistance into support on a pullback here. But it still gave you opportunity to try and ride the breakout, at least for a little bit. Again, would have wanted more, would have wanted to have seen resistance flip into support here, and it failed. So at least heading into the close, we're not as keen to follow that. Definitely not as keen to follow the KLTO at this point. But hey, from earlier today, it just goes to show that there is still plenty of opportunity here on this trade. It was trending back up heading into the market open here. So that's a good sign. For as much as it moved yesterday, yes, you should be a bit concerned in case if you're there, right place, wrong time, or in case if this makes a false breakout completely and then just craps back down. But, it ended up building back up. It flipped resistance here into a support eventually and moved up a little bit higher from there. Good for about $1 pretty much. But for as much as this stock had moved the KLTO from yesterday, we've been saying it's just a big game of musical chairs. When the music stops, don't try and be like the Fonz and like elbow the jukebox to get the music playing again, because you're not going to get it to play again. This thing is done. This thing is toast, dead in the water, however you want to phrase it. But heading into the close now, I hope nobody's still into this, holding on to it from earlier. I can only imagine this dropping back down towards $1 in due time. How do I know? Just take a look at MCTR from the other day, from the other week, right? Look at this thing. Right back down. It's just how it goes. Take a look at MULN. From the other day. I mean, just right back down, if not even lower almost. So just goes to show these are flavor of the day stocks. Do not get caught up swing trading them. If they do want to push up the next day, then we'll try and ride the wave again. But don't get stuck holding. That's the key. All right, let's go through a couple more at least that we had on the morning watch list. Just recap a couple. Of course, we've been mentioning Tesla. It's been squeezing up still throughout the entire day. So even after the morning, we've kept our focus on Tesla. You got TSLA, you got TSLL. Both of those ETFs doing pretty damn good here. So I don't mind putting like both of those tickers just on our list to start, the Tesla trades. Check out like a Nvidia, see how Nvidia is doing of late. That's trying to go back up a little bit here. SPY, hey, another higher low. That's what we were hoping to see just before here. We were just posting earlier at 2 o'clock. Let's see if this next drop in the market is yet another higher low. So far, so good. So that means for stocks like Tesla, those are still squeezing pretty well. Nvidia is holding up nice. I wouldn't mind putting Nvidia on our main list maybe at the end. I think Apple, well, it was, Roseanne. Apple was doing pretty good just before. It was holding up better compared to the others, but I guess kind of reversed shortly around reversal time, didn't it? All right, so we had those at least for a little while. We're still going to focus on Tesla. Let's check out GameStop. That's kind of garbage now at this point. ASTS, just a moment ago, I got out on this trade a little earlier here, but it ended up spiking back up towards 36. Got pretty close, but then rejected pretty quickly here. So I'm not going to put the ASTS trade back on our list for right now, but we like that trade. We like the RKLB, those space sector stocks. They have a really good just long-term graph. So that is the first and largest reason why you should be interested in them. It's just a healthy company. Secondly, though, and this is where it's second and not first, and it's also say it's not politically, influenced in terms of left or right. It's just common sense, guys. When Elon was starting to talk about politics again after leaving Doge, a lot of people were pissed not just to Elon, but they were also looking for alternatives and companies that were quote unquote competitors or in the same business, same field, same sector. So between satellite internet, between the space rockets and all of that, I know that RKLB and ASTS both are two major stocks to keep an eye on just as alternatives, as alternatives, right? I mean, hey, you could say the same with Rivian to Tesla, but this is not as healthy of a chart. It might start to be one over time. Higher lows have been looking good since last year, but not a real higher high yet. I get it. But point being is that these trades, the ASTS and the Rocket Lab, keep your eyes on them going forward, day to day, week to week. I'm not going to put them on our main special list at least yet for this afternoon, but keep them on your radar. All right, let's go right from top to bottom here, see what we could work with. Our trade of the day was the ARAI. The ARAI stock, Fausto was on top of this one early here and broke out pretty nicely. You could say like a sloppy Fausto flag. It built back up and above like 825, 830, moved up pretty well from there up to 15 plus. Listen, for as much as it goes up parabolically and gets halted on the way up, halted on the way up, halted on the way down, it becomes a dangerous game, right? It's the same thing as the KLTO. So it's good to take money off the table, and it's totally normalized to leave money on the table because you thought it would drop off sooner than it did. So at least getting back to that last trade, the ARAI, it kept going, it just kept pushing up over 14 here, and it flipped a resistance into a support, provided one more chance. But for as much as it goes up, we know it's going to come crumbling back down. Looks like this is some new IPO, I guess, from the other week, the other month. Wouldn't shock me if it just falls right back down within this area here, back under this area, which is like $9, 850-ish. As I'm talking, look what's happening. Literally, as I'm talking, this thing just crapped out 70, 75, 80 cents. So yeah, we're done. We're done with that trade. And hey, for a lot of our returning members here, longtime students, Jeff, Michael, Leda, Barbara, Grant. I want to give my guy Grant a quick shout out here. I know he has some things going on this week on Friday. Wishing you well, my friend. But just to mention, and Jim too, a lot of our longtime students. Well, hey, I don't need to tell this to you because you know already. You've been around the block with Fausto and I. You know what the deal is. But we have to scream it from the mountaintops because we always have new members joining us here. And hey, trading is not like low risk. There is high risk involved with risking your money. And the more money you risk, the more opportunity that you have, but the more opportunity at failure you may have if you don't know how to manage the trades. So getting back to those stocks, that's why we got to keep mentioning, hey, these are like flavor of the day, flavor of the hour. They're going to dump right back down the next day, the next hour from now. So we'll move on from them pretty quick. EVGN, MEGL. Oh, let me just show MEGL here because I mentioned this earlier today in our trading room, like just point blank. I was saying that exactly. I said former runners from years past, MEGL plus MRIN are up percentage this morning, but are trending down likely already popped and dropped from early this morning. I wrote that to you at 8:30 Eastern this morning, folks, like early hours. We're talking about this here, which goes to show we know these stocks. We've been around the block with them before, right? Not even this. Let's go back further. I'm not talking about that move. Let's go back even more if we can. Yeah. I'm talking about that move. Yep. I'm talking about this move right here. And this is not a legitimate 200 up to 1,000. I think this did shoot up to $100. So I guess they did, what was it, a 1-for-10 stock split or something like that, reverse split or something recently. But more or less, when this stock IPO'd, it shot up like no other, up to like $100 per share, right back down. So that's how we remember it. And if it makes a fraction of that type of pump for us, at least today, or if it did early in the morning, that's nice. But just remember, hey, these stocks are going to continue their trend. Even back from the end of last year, it happened, right? There's a coiling up here to try and make another move. Maybe I'd rather focus on stocks near the highs, rather focus on Tesla. If this was trading more volume, better volume on the order book, this QSG, I'd rather focus on that. But let's see if there's even better. LVWR, Newton here. Let's see. Anything else looking good? It's really just the Tesla show so far, isn't it? Maybe I got to jack up my volume here. Yeah, I got to jack up my volume. 1 second. At least get that going. All right. ALT's up 12%. That's a familiar name at least. It's not moving as well as we've seen it trade. So I'll pass on that for now. NVTS lower highs, just right back down underneath that big resistance we had said. Intel ran earlier. Okay. Intel had a nice, good move before. What's the news on Intel? Did we post that from earlier, Rich? Let's see. Nah, no news yet posted on Intel. Let me just do that here for us. Let's see what happened on Intel. Why is this up? Why is it moving? NVIDIA's Grace Hopper drives supercomputer gains, but AMD holds ground. That's just like some blog post there. That's all. I got nothing. No real like big Intel based headline. Bunch of just like chip sector based tags. Check out SOXL, SOXL, the chip ETF. NVIDIA, like we had said, is like at least kind of poking at resistance there. Check out the other chips out there like Avgo, Qualcomm, maybe. Not as impressive. I mean, I guess for right now, if you want me to put Intel on our list, I'll do it. It's tradable. I just wish it was moving even sharper going up at this point. All right, I think that's pretty much it for the gainer side here, folks. If there's going to be anything else that you see that looks good, you let me know. Hop over to the loser side here. See if there's any shorts. Well, Children's Place breaking new all-time lows. So yeah, that's only continuing to dump off there. It's hard to borrow on my platform now, at least. Rocket Lab, we said just before, pretty healthy long-term graph. Today it's down though. I'll tell you, that's pretty much it. Wow. Nothing else really that stands out that looks like a great trade. Just Tesla and Intel. If there is anything else, Michael, John, Roberto, Jeff, Scott, Leda, Kathleen, let me know inside our live trading room or otherwise on the YouTubes. Again, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube. And I guess I should say TikTok, right, Rich? Right? TikTok as well. Get them involved as well here, right? You don't dance. You don't want to see me dance. But what I could do at least is teach you how to trade. So hopefully you enjoy that. Ishan, one of our trial members here joining us inside our room saying, Intel's new leader charts a path to reclaim chip dominance. I don't know if that's like actual news though. It sounds like a title of a headline, like a blog, right? So maybe people are catching on to that perhaps. I appreciate the heads up. Either way, this is just a good example of a stock. I like showing the news because it's good to have news, don't get me wrong. But this is where I love making the point that we don't need news. We don't need an actual catchy headline in order for a stock to make a run. So as long as we scan for it ahead of time here, which we did, we were on top of this stock as early as 1:10 Eastern time here. That's where we had our first call outs on this stock. My colleague Rich was on top of this early. And just again, I'll show this. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. We got the receipts to show it here. So Intel, right at 110 Eastern time, that was our first call out on it, pushing up. We had a 331,000 share iceberg order on the ask at 22. So once it ended up blasting above 22 as resistance, hey, what are we expecting 22 to flip into? So at least that's our play currently. Let's see if this can contain above past resistance, now support at 22, and see if there's more on it. Damn, though, really, it's just Tesla and Intel. That's it. There's got to be something else. There's got to be something more here, right? I'll do round two. I'll go again here just to see if there's anything else that I'd missed. Michael's saying no volume, but rent is a steady short today. Take a look, maybe. Gels, it's like that was the one stock teasing us earlier. I don't like teases. It is trying to go back up a little bit from here. I mean, it has some activity to it. I don't like being teased, but literally, I kind of have to put this on our list because otherwise, we just got two other tickers. It's Tesla and Intel. That's all. Let's go to that trade that Michael's talking about there. Rent, yeah, no volume there behind it. There's no volume. There's no Fausto. No Fausto, no Josh. Newton, same deal here. No volume. All right. And I'll tell you guys, listen, I did my due diligence. I ran through these scanners the last 17 or so minutes for us live. So we got what we're working with here, right? We can't change the environment that we're in. We can only try and adapt to it. So what that means is don't force anything out there. Even gels, like I have on our list, it is, showing some life to it. So I'd rather focus on this than something that has no volume or something that has no momentum to it or whatnot behind it. So, hey, we'll be back on the mic here in just about 15 or 20 minutes from right now, folks. If you're joining us on Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, X, TikTok, wherever you may be residing here on social media, just make sure to follow and subscribe to us on all of our social platforms, but on YouTube. On the YouTube's at Cyber Trading You down below. Hit that big red subscribe button down below there. We had a live podcast tomorrow. We had a live podcast today. If you had missed out on that, that's on our YouTube channel right there as a recording. But again, we're live all throughout this week. We got another podcast tomorrow. Got a live workshop on Thursday. So there's a lot to discuss, even if you're just joining us on social media. But if you're inside our live trading room, though, Michael, Ishan, Scott, Grant, Clarence, and Jeff, and all of our members there, just stay tuned. You got another hour ahead here with us here coming up just shortly after 3 o'clock. We'll be back on. All right. Talk to you all soon. Take care.